Good morning. Dennis Willich here with Nationwide Southwest, and I'm here today with Carmine Dionisio with Service Leaders Network. And we're going to have an exciting session here. We're going to talk a little bit to all of you independent dealers out there, especially the ones in appliances and, more importantly, the ones doing service. Thank you.
Nice.
Carmine,
thank you for having me here.
Glad to have you here this morning. And let's talk a little bit about Carmine before we talk about Service Leaders Network. I think you've got a pretty predominant background in this channel. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I do. Currently, just to let you know, right now I live in Las Vegas, where my granddaughter is, and love it there. So I'm on the West Coast. I've been in the industry for about 43 years.
Wow.
And started out working, sweeping the floors at a retailer, and then I went all the way through to started running a service department, multiple states, out in the West Coast, and then went ahead and moved over to management through field manager through Maytag. So I did Maytag region manager. Then I went to Electrolux before the Whirlpool takeover, and then from there moved into region management, national manager, then started working in quality product builds, international product quality builds. Also did call center avoidance, helping them technically over the 3 call centers, India, Manila, and Augusta, Georgia. And then from there, actually not too far from here, there's a little factory that they created. Probably at the time it was about 2.3 million ranges. I was quality manager for press and assembly for a couple of years with Electrolux.
Okay.
And then kind of took a step back and kind of looked at where I wanted to be. And one day they said, "Hey, you want to come and join Nationwide and help us with our service?" And I'd love to. Independent dealer has always been in my heart.
Right. Well, that's a very good background. You know, I came out of a lot of that same background, not so much in the service side, but in sales, and worked for a number of different companies out there as well. So I've been in this thing a long time, seen a lot of changes as you have. But let's talk a little bit about this Service Leaders Network and what is the prime reason for Service Leaders Network?
The main reason I believe, and what I've been pushing now, is connectivity, making sure that the independent retailers that are servicers are connected with the programs they should be with the service community. I'm also on the UASA board, the board for advisory board, excuse me. So I get to see a lot of different things and hear a lot of different things that I bring. And that's what Service Leaders Network is about, creating a community. And my number one goal for any of that is to go ahead and make our service community more profitable.
More profitable. And when you make a comment like that, more profitable, there's many things that come to mind on how to make profit. Okay? So why don't you give us a few examples of what you do to take that profit level up?
Yeah. Number one is we have a proprietary program within our system. It's a service rate comparison platform. And what this platform is, it's a platform where you can see all of your rates that you have for all of your warranty and your extended warranty. And the good thing about it is it has a date at the end of it, so that you can get a reminder. Because the number one thing when I was a manufacturer, everybody would say, "I haven't had a rate increase in over 3 or 4 years." That's the first thing, is to make sure you stay on top of your warranty rates and your TPA rates. So we created this. The other thing that it does is it gives you a snapshot into what other retailers, not independently retailers, but an average, and says, this is where you rate amongst your peers. And you could take a look and see this rating and go, boy, I'm a little out of line here. And it begs the question in your head to go and reach out to that manufacturer TPA and say, how come I'm not, and like, what am I doing incorrect? And gets me in better line, whether it's their key performance indicators, their KPIs on your company. Maybe it's because you're not meeting their parts expectations or something like that. So they can become more beneficial to that manufacturer when they run that service. Plus, they also do a great service to their customer when they can fix it right the first time. That's the other thing about profitability that we preach. We run through different virtual conferences that we have and virtual training. In fact, when we were here at Prime Time, if anybody missed it, it was great. We went through and did how do you get better first time completes.
Yeah.
So, and we did that here,
Right.
and because I have the different parts distributors here. I have parts distributor Reliables here. We have different POS, BMS systems. We also, have a lot of the people here that can talk to them about how do you go ahead and strategize to go ahead and make that gap tighter. Because every time you run a call, there's a certain amount of money you spend. Every time you miss that call and you have to order a part,
Yeah.
the second trip is free.
Yeah.
I don't like free because free is never good. You need to take care of it the first time.
Yeah, and I can see that as being a big piece. Having that rate right and making sure that you're getting the highest percentage you possibly can on first calls. I get that 100%. All right, now I want to change gears with you a little bit. We'll change directions because I've got a million different things on what I think we can do together and build a stronger foundation. As I like to say, I want to put a lot more rebar in the concrete. And what I mean by that is really beef up some ideas and thoughts and see what we can do together to enhance the Service Leaders Network, but also more importantly, enhance our positions with the independents in their marketplaces. And by doing that, what I mean by that is I've done a bunch of podcasts now, and one of the things, the one common thread in the podcast that I do with servicing dealers, the one thing that comes out every time, they get word of mouth, big time. A lot of them will only service what they sell. Others will service anything.
Yes.
That's a choice they can make. But the thing that's interesting is, the one thing I find out is, Dennis, we're getting 60% of our business by word of mouth because I'm servicing everything and taking care of our customers cradle to grave, meaning time you buy it through the end life of that product, I'm here. All I want to say about that is I want to find out what we can do. How can we partner up, come up with some kind of a mousetrap that we can take out to those independents that maybe years ago were in the service business. Maybe they lost their techs, or the tech moved on or retired or whatever, or their service departments just got in disarray and they just quit servicing. And they lost a lot of control with the customer. I see it like this. If you service what you sell, you now have a customer from the time they come in the store till the end of life with that product. Okay? Versus, I don't do no service. Now, when I need a service, I have to go outside, third party, right? But what happens if during this period of time I decide I want to buy something else? Who am I going to look up? You're now a consumer again. I'd like to say to the guys that do their own service, you've really tied yourself to that customer, maybe for life itself, and all the years ahead that they're going to be purchasing for you. And I think we lost a lot of ground in the early years and years ago. If you think back, you used to go into, mainstream America, the moms and the pops, the towns all over the country. Went in, there's an appliance guy here, they do their service. Electronics over here, they still tell her they do their service. And little by little, we got away from that. And these big box stores came in, and consumers started saying, well, I might as well just buy there. They're a little bit cheaper over there maybe, and I'll just buy over there. There ain't really any other differences. This thing with service is big.
Yes.
And big, I mean, it opened my eyes a lot just by talking to about 6 or 7 different ones that do big. And I'm talking about people that are in big metropolitan areas or rural America. But that common thread was always the same. What did it do for you? It created a tremendous amount of future sales, on and on, word of mouth. So that's a vision I have.
That's a good vision.
And I want to see how can we connect the dots and make something exciting, and maybe go all the way, Carmine, go all the way into where we now can come to an appliance dealer, let's say, and say, hey, let us give you a presentation on what it would cost to go into the service business. And really, how do you make money in the service business? And I think if we do this right, I think we can get some great attachment. I think we can help our members. And I know one thing, those members that are self-servicers, they're not going out of business. They just keep growing. It's amazing. I looked at all of them, and man, the numbers are crazy. Okay.
That's the one thing, and I sit on some of the podcasts, or not the laundry rooms and things like that are out there, and the independents are really scared because they don't know their future.
Mm-hmm.
Let's flip that over to a retailer. If the retailer's not doing service, they're missing their number one salesperson in the field.
Yeah.
That technician that's in the field that says their company name on there. And when they go out and they're doing a repair, and they say, well, my dishwasher's a little on the fritz.
Yeah.
Okay, you go out there and say, well, I'll take a quick peek at it. Don't worry about it. I won't charge you for it. I'm already here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good. I tell you what, we'll get you hooked up. Then the retailer, if they can figure out a way to do it even on an iPad, and kind of work it out so they can do the transaction there, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking ahead, but they know that they can trust that you're going to be there, cradle to grave.
Right.
But I feel that if the independent dealer is not doing service, they need to look at it. And we can help create this process, I guess you'd say, to go ahead, where to start, what to do, how to do it, become profitable. We have member-to-member roundtables once a month, and we talk about these things constantly to go in and help them better themselves.
Right. Well, here's the deal. You take a customer that comes into that store, and you've done marketing and all that, right? To get that consumer there, you've turned them into a customer. Why do I want them to walk out after we make whatever it is, the installation, delivery, installation, it's all done. Now we're out of the picture. We remain in the picture when when something breaks down, and that service agent, that service person from your organization comes back with that name on there again. And they can put that card out there on that appliance as well.
And and that's why we preach first time complete, because customer, you want to do that first time complete, because you don't want to be home 2 or 3 times and miss work or miss an appointment or whatever. That's why we're with the right partners, because we want to make sure that the service companies survive.
Right. And the more I hear of the capability of what I guess you would call pre-analysis.
Yep.
And there's a lot of the products that's got a lot of the smart stuff in them. They can say, well, 90% this is going to be what's causing that. And if you take that part with you, you'll probably 90% of the time fix it.
Exactly.
And so we have to also educate our dealers, our members, that these tools are available and you need to use them, and that's where it'll put money in your pocket.
Yes.
And not take money out of your pocket by going on another free call.
Right.
And to your point, how much more respect and how much more satisfaction do you bring to that customer when you say, we'll be there. And when you walk out on that first call, say, Carmine, it's running perfect. And they put a smile on their face. They don't have to think about it again. You made them happy.
They know that you listened to them.
Right.
They said, I have a CE code.
Right.
And then you did the due diligence to look for that CE code, no matter what. A lot of the brands have that out there where you can do it. And you heard them, you listened to them and said, we know what you needed.
Exactly.
And that's it.
That's it. And think about this. That servicer coming back to your home, taking care of your problem, builds trust.
You nailed it right on the head.
More trust, more trust. And that's what I'm saying. Now, when I'm talking to my neighbor or my son or my daughter or a friend or whoever it is, well, it doesn't matter. Somebody says, hey, I need to get me a new refrigerator. Mine's not out yet, but I'm going to buy me a new one. You need to see Carmine.
Yeah.
That's the only place to go.
Right.
Stay out of these other places. Just go see Carmine.
Right. They'll take care of you.
Yeah.
You'll be like family.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
They love the customer experience.
That's it. Then there's another element in all this that I'm going to tie to it, and that's reviews. When you get really, really solid reviews that come in and on service and say, Carmine came out, his team came out, we had a problem, they took care of it, fixed it on the first call, great service, they just very, very professional. You get feedback from that, and the more you get of that, the more everybody in the world knows about you, because Google likes to brag on people in other words, with a lot of stars.
Yes.
So we gotta think kind of differently, and I know there's a lot of ways to put things together. I know there's a lot of ways to connect dots. And that's why I'm talking to you today, because I think in this service side, I am selfishly looking at it from our membership. How, in other words, we can bring you a price, we can get a VR, we can do these things, but how much marketing are you spending? And that's another common thread in all this, was most of these people doing service, everything they sell, most all of them had a lower marketing budget because they didn't have to drive that as hard because of the word of mouth sales. When you hear sales, hey, 50%, 60%, 70% of my sales are all word of mouth. People walk in and say, hey, so-and-so, my God, what better marketing, So anyway, a great brainstorming session, my friend.
I love these.
And we'll keep after this. And I want you to have a great
Dennis,
great prime time. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes.
Appreciate everything, Carmine. And let's hook up and get some of these ideas on the table.
Your membership will see it. Never seen somebody as laser focused as you. I love it.
Thank you
for the time.